We're back on Thursday night, back-to-back shows. Big week for us, Mike. Heading into a Knuckle Mania 3 week next week, which I can't fucking wait for. What's up, Mike?
You can't wait. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait.
Dude, so anybody that's paying attention to what's going on in Albuquerque next week, they released the press or the media schedule for next week. And when Mike and I get there on Wednesday, we're going to get there sometime midday, but that afternoon, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So it'll be 5 p.m. here.
Mountain.
And I'm not really sure if they're going to play footage from the open workouts are at Jackson Wink on Wednesday.
Yes.
And we're expecting the top 4 fights to be doing open workouts there. That means Lorenzo and Richmond. That means Trout and Diego. That means John Dotson, Jared Grant. And that means Greg Hardy and Josh Watson. So Mike and I will be at one of the most famous gyms ever in combat sports, Jackson Wink Academy. We are planning to go live from those open workouts and get as much as we can from as many people that want to talk with us, man.
Yep.
Kyle, dollar in the jar, 13.2 seconds and 3 cuss words. Oh, my bad. Big Ben.
Swore?
I did.
In 13 seconds?
Every once in a while, I just use fuck like a comma. You know what I mean?
I didn't even hear any of them. Zero. I picked up 0 of those. I hope they weren't within the first 30 seconds. You got to count the intro too, because if it is, then I got to report that shit and maybe get less monetization. I mean, it's just a whole thing. I mean, Kyle just put us out on the sidewalk.
I did not.
We're going to be living in a box after this show.
Hey, before we go any further and do anything, we got Mike Richmond in the waiting room to come in. I want to give a shout out to the Donnybrook Company, Michael Quigg, the artist of artists. Dude, check these things out. He sent me and Mike a couple of posters today.
Look at those things.
So we got the Richmond Hunt main event poster here.
Beautiful.
With the Tingley Coliseum at the bottom and all that jazz. But then a second one that has all the fights at the bottom. You see that? It has the whole fight card at the bottom and the main event guys at the top. Very cool posters. These things are awesome. I'm going to bring Mike his this weekend or whenever the hell I see him. And shout out to you, Michael Quigg, and the Donnybrook Company. Somehow we have Mike twice in the waiting room down there.
Yes.
So without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and bring in one half of the...
We got to play the... You got to play the sponsor, man. Can't skip the sponsors.
All right, Mike, just hang in there for a second. We're going to shout out our sponsors, our great sponsors, real quick. Greatest commercial ever made in the history of commercials. Here it is.
Norcom Mortgage and Michael Mish are delivering the American dream to those who serve America, helping veterans obtain the dream of home ownership. They offer programs that include no money down, no first-time homebuyer requirement, 100% cash-out refinances, rehab loans. They can help you purchase a home, purchase a condo, refinance an existing mortgage, create a dream home with rehab loan. To learn more, visit www.michaelmish.norcommortgage.com or call 860-884-2103.
Always want to learn more, Mike. I always want to learn more. Every single time I watch that, I hear that. To learn more, everybody, really go back, watch that commercial, get that phone number, call up Mike Mish, and get him to help you with all your home owning dreams, because he can make that shit happen. And he's licensed in 38 states, including all the major ones: Florida, California, Texas, New York, you name it. He's probably got a license to help you guys out there. And we got Guerrilla Warfare apparel. We are wearing it on our shirts tonight. They always hook us up. They hook a lot of fighters up. Go to guerrillawarfareapparel.com, use promo code Mike and Mish, and get 15% off your purchase. Without further ado, we have one half of the main event in 1 week in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Knuckle Mania 3. We got the guy himself taking on Juggernaut, Lorenzo Hunt. He is the Marine. He's Mike Richmond.
There he is.
Hello, guys. How you doing? Can you see me good enough?
Yeah, you're a little dark,
little-
but you know, it gives it that scary, like a horror movie, like a murder is about to happen.
Yeah, you look like got a real gangster vibe to you tonight, dude. What's going on?
You know, I'm just in one of my big champagne rooms here at the club, so I slid off to the side, turn the music off, and bust out this interview real quick.
Nice, I love it.
How come anytime you do an interview with us from the club, you are by yourself on the screen? Like I feel like you could have company just hanging with you while we talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
I thought about it, honestly. I thought about it.
Nah, man. Oh, dude, we're 8 days out from one of the biggest fights in the history of bare knuckle fighting. We really worked hard to get this fight made. I feel like Mike and we don't have anything to do with matchmaking or anything like that, but we made an honest effort to try to speak for the fans and get this fucking fight made. And it's finally made, and you're 8 days out. Talk to us where your head's at, how you feeling heading to Albuquerque next week.
No, to go off of what you're saying, I think you guys were definitely a big part of all of that, help building it up, help building the fight. To most importantly, what the fans wanted to see, the majority of the fans, anyways, wanted to see this rivalry finally come to head. I feel excited. I'm in a good place, good mood. I'm ready to fucking get down and get after it. Yeah, man, we're just fucking 7 days away tomorrow.
7 days away to. Have you fought in Albuquerque before?
I'm not.
Never been down there before for a fight. Mike and I were very surprised to learn about the altitude when we got down there, because obviously we're not high school or college scholars, and apparently geography is not our fucking cup of tea. And I had no idea that Albuquerque sits 6,000 feet above sea level. Have you done any different elevation training for this one?
I didn't go out there, obviously, with my job. It's tough for me to take a bunch of time off to try to travel somewhere and get acclimated to the elevation. From my understanding, Albuquerque is slightly higher than Denver, not by much, but still slightly higher. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I just, due to the restraints of my job, family, career, and other things, I just can't slide away for X amount of time. The only time that I try to get out there a day or two prior for the press conference, to get out there, work mitts, run, and just try to get a feel of it. It felt very similar to Denver.
Dude, we're going out there next week with you guys. And when we found out about the open workouts over down at Jackson Wink on Wednesday, do you know about this? And I want to ask you about your management. Smith Brothers Combat Sports just partnered up with Jackson Wink. Do you know anything about that partnership between Jackson Wink and Kevin? Can you clue us in on that at all? Or
no, I have no idea. I don't give a fuck about anyone but myself.
No, that's cool.
Hey, that's the way you got to be,
Yeah.
Focused.
I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a partnership, whether it's management or a place for his fighters to go train. I don't know the details of it. I think it does have something to do with, if some Smith combat fighters are able to, leave and go out and train. I think they will have let them train there and whatnot. But as far as the details, I'm not sure.
Very cool, though. But we're going to be down there. We got the open workouts on Wednesday. We got the weigh-ins on Thursday, and then the biggest fight in BKFC history on Friday night. We had Lorenzo on last night. I don't know if you caught any of that, but his tone has not changed one iota. He is as confident as he was before. He still sticks to the sentiment that you are too small for him and you don't have the skill to beat him. It just 8 days out from this fight, and he has not changed a wink. Is this a mistake by the Juggernaut?
No, I want him to keep that. He needs that confidence. I think he's always been that way. At least his last full of fights, he's been that way. So I think Lorenzo could be fighting a heavyweight world champ. I think he could be fighting the toughest guy on the planet. He's going to act that way, and that's good. Good on him. I don't think it makes a difference for me. I could give a fuck less if he thinks he's too big, too fast, too skillful. He's bigger than me for sure. The skill set, no, fucking no way. No way.
Yeah, last night he was actually talking about he's going to go and beat you, and he's saying he's going to go straight over to New Orleans, and he's thinking about fucking getting over there and maybe doing some crazy jump on the ring antics or whatever he's got planned up his sleeve. He's looking for the heavyweight title after that. You think he's looking past you?
For sure, he's looking past me. You know who else he's looking past? You don't want that Trujillo rematch either. Fucking doing everything he can not to get fucking slept by that dude. So he wants to go up there and fight him. But you know what? That's Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to be Lorenzo. For me, talking shit, I'm done with the talking shit. We're going to fucking dance, motherfucker. So you can gas yourself up all you want. You can have your fans gas up. Your fans talk shit to me. I don't care. At the end of the day, we're going to get after it, and we're going to see. We're going to see. And when I take you out, it's not going to be good for your career, man. So don't be mad at me when I fucking beat you and this little guy comes up there and puts your ass away.
Now, you've mentioned it in the past. A lot of people have talked about the fact that he never made 185 and he holds a 185 title. We talked to him last night about it. He said he was almost on weight right now, a week out from the fight. Is there any kind of stipulations in here where, like, if he does come in,
he's almost on weight. Like, this is fucking horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm almost on weight. Fucking moron.
I mean, I figured he might. He's
the most unintelligent dude I've ever fucking goddamn encountered. Fucking idiot. Yes, of course, if he misses weight, there'll be some compensation done for that.
But I'm saying if he misses weight and you guys still do the fight and you win, do you still win the title? Is it still a title fight?
I mean, if he misses weight, he automatically has to vacate the title, and I'm considered.
Oh, is that what it is?
And he can't become the champ even if he beats me. So the biggest issue that I have is the dude's fought 2 times and defended this title, and is like, both of those fights were what, 190s in the low 190s, not even in the 80s. I don't think Lombard or Riggs was even in the 80s range when they weighed in at. And I just have a problem with not making a title fight and not making an actual title legitimate. And for him to go around and act like that's normal and that's okay, and it's not. And certain media people, certain fan base, you enable this guy to be a character that he is. No one's out there being like, no, Lorenzo, you've never actually fought at the title weight. I don't know how you could be the title fucking champ. I'm sure Islam and fucking goddamn Volkanovski wishes they could actually be the lightweight champ or the 145-pound champ and weigh in at 155. But there's something about this fucking dude that he gets to run around illegitimately as a champion, and that fucking bothers me. So if he makes weight, which I hope he does, at least I can finally keep him honest to actually fucking coming down to the weight. And I hope he struggles every bit of it. I really hope he does, Mr. I'm almost on weight. No one gives a fuck what you're almost at, Lorenzo. No one cares, dude.
Mike, were you about to say something?
Well, what I wanted to do was go back to the Knuckle Mania 3 press conference and what happened there, because obviously it was a little while ago, but it's right at the top of my mind because what happened there was absolutely insane, right? Obviously, you guys got into a little scuffle, and he got you with a little smack, and then we were talking yesterday about how you guys fell off the back of the stage a bit. And watching it, we were like, holy shit, hopefully one of those guys didn't fucking roll an ankle or fucking get hurt falling off the back of the stage. When that happened, I thought they were going to shut that whole thing down, but I couldn't really see what you were doing after that because you were kind of off the camera. What happened there?
Well, I jumped on the back of the stage, and him and I were both on the back of the stage. We were like flopping up and down on that little canvas I fell over. I'll fight you right. I was like, let's fucking go. We'll fucking dance right back here where there's no cameras. And then Feldman grabbed me, and then I kind of got back up on the stage, and he got back up on the stage, and then they kept pushing us away, and then I went down, and then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go walk away, because like, fuck, I'm not gonna sit here like and listen to this guy anymore. And but also at the same time, a bunch of people are chirping in my ears. I don't know who they were. Like, Mike, if you guys fight, this fight's not gonna happen. Don't do anything. If you fight, if you slap, if you punch him or you do anything, this fight could get canceled. And Feldman saying, like, I remember hearing his voice like, let them pay for it. Like, you let the fans come pay for it. And it's one of those things where it elevated to where it was. I was still hot about it, and it's fine, cool, man. Like, I don't give a fuck because we're still going to fight.
Right.
You can hold that little slap in your back pocket all you want, but we're still going to get after it and fight. But also, while the chaos was going on, people are like, Mike, calm down, calm down. You don't turn this into a fight here. This whole thing could get fucking, shut down. The commission could not let the fight happen. So that finally started to kick in. Like, all right, I'm not going to blow this whole show for everybody, or at least blow the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, another question about that. Like, when this happens, this is the day and age that we're living in right now with the social media day and age. And I shit talk social media all the time, but we kind of like make a living off of it. So, sorry, social media, I'm going to fucking talk shit again. When something like that happens at the press conference, and like what happened with you guys at Hollywood in the lobby at the weigh-ins that one time when you guys first scuffled, the amount of people that fucking say this shit is so fake, it's so staged, it's so fake. What do you got to say to those fucking people? That shit pisses me off so bad.
It does irritate me when people thought it was staged. It wasn't, man. It was genuine. We don't fucking like each other. It was genuine, kind of your John Jones DC type of issue, or some Tyson fucking altercations when Tyson gets hot in the past. Like, it was genuine. It wasn't staged. Now, then you got the people that are upset that you're not acting like professionals. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think that we're acting like. It's none of your, like, then don't watch then. Like, if you're so worried that we're not being professional and we're acting like children, then don't watch. Why are you even watching the press conference? That initially kicks in, that feeling, right? But to go back to your question, is like, it was legitimate. Like, I legitimately don't fucking like the dude, and I won't like him after the fight, whether I win or lose. I just don't like the guy. I think he's a fake, fraudulent motherfucker.
So your brother, your brother, man,
he's always there.
Yeah, you guys are tight as fuck, man. Look, this guy fucking comes flying out of nowhere, double leg, fucking right off the back of the stage there. Were you surprised that he did that, or you're like, nope, that's just that's pretty much part of the course for Sean? Right?
No, I didn't know that. That's how Lorenzo fell off. I thought like maybe he slipped or one of the security guard got him. Then when I looked back and saw the footage and Sean said that he did that, I wasn't surprised at all. Yeah. I mean, that's just how we're gonna ride and die for each other, and we're gonna get after it. And that's what he used to fight, and I think we have this chip on our shoulder. We kind of have the Diaz brothers mentality where it's us against the fucking world. I don't give a fuck about anybody. Sure, I have acquaintances. I can be friendly and nice, and I have some friends. But if we're gonna get down there, we're gonna get fucking down there. It doesn't matter if you take us out or not. We're fucking going after it. And no, I wasn't surprised. That's my little brother. We're gonna get out. We'll fucking fight everyone.
Yeah. Bringing him up, there was a post the other day that I think you posted it, and you were like, hey, we got to get him into BKFC. What do you think, everybody? And a lot of people seem to be like, get the hell in there and get it done. So what does he think about this? Do you think he's gonna make the walk?
You know what? I think he's always teased at it with me, at least when we tried about maybe him getting back into fighting. He had a good amateur career in MMA in Minnesota. He had a couple of fights pro, and but he just really kind of went the family man route. He has, married, 3 kids, works a lot of hours, but he's still got the fighter in him. He's still a fighter. He's still got the desire to scrap, and he can hit hard. He's got natural punching power too. So him and I have teased at it. I wouldn't want to force him into it. I'd want him to legitimately get in there and do it, but I think it's a possibility.
Nice,
dude. He is a fucking fiery little dude. And the night you beat Isaac Doolittle, Mike has a great piece of footage from ringside, like the angle that Mike filmed it. Your brother jumps
right behind Lorenzo,
and he points right at Lorenzo, and he's like, "You're next, motherfucker!" Like, it was fucking perfect. Mike was like, "Watch this video. Watch it. Watch Mike's brother. It's fucking great."
Yeah, because if you're watching,
he jumps up. He's got like the towel on his shoulder, and he points. He's like, "You're next, motherfucker."
Yeah, he jumps in the ring.
I mean, that's just the mentality we have. Lorenzo could be fucking 20 deep, and it's just Sean and I. Then all right, cool. Then is victory or Valhalla, baby. We're gonna fucking throw down until the death. That's just how we are, and that's how it's gonna be for me next week. He's gonna have to fucking take the life of me.
You know what? It's funny is I love Zion Tomlinson is in the comments right now, and he always offers to fight everybody under the sun. And I think he's asking like what weight. Are you asking what weight Sean would fight at? Is that what you're doing right now, Zion? Zion's offering to fight him already. Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure what Sean would fight at. You know, his fighting days, he was a 45 or 55 or like me too. But you know, we're both in our, I'm in my late 30s and he's in his mid 30s now. I don't know if he would go down to 45 or, I think he would probably be around his training weight and his height and getting after training. If I had to guess, he'd probably be around the 65, 75 range.
Nice.
Maybe.
Mike, we have talked to you in the past about the 165-pound division, and you had mentioned many times that, like, you're making your career right now at 175. Now you're going up to 185, but you had talked about going down to fight Palomino. What do you like that 165 division? I know I'm kind of getting off track here, but there's going to be a 165-pound fight that night, Austin Trout and Diego Sanchez. But that division has Palomino and you've talked on Brito in the past, but Gogo Slaveski's making a name for himself.
Oh, dude, that's the monster. The Gogo's fighting like a monster, yeah.
Right. Like, would you? I know that you're fighting at 185 next week, but would you still consider like maybe going down there and throwing some hands with some of those 165ers still?
Yeah. I think initially I knew I wanted to jump in 175 because I felt like that was the easiest transition for where I was with my natural weight and whatnot. And ideally, I wanted to go down to 65, maybe even 55. But then I started, I took a fight over here at like 180 something. I fought in London at 85. Then I took the Stamps fight at 80. But I was still trying to come down. And then then I was always just kind of right there instead of making it down to 65 where I ideally would have liked to go. If I reverse it all the way back, ideally I would have wanted to start it at 65 and work my way up. I'm kind of doing the exact opposite of it, of going up, fighting these really big guys and working my way down. I think I'm naturally when I drop that weight, I have better footwork and I'm lighter on my feet. I don't know naturally, can be this big and move around as light as I would like. I can still do it, but once I get down to those weights, it's being more light-footed and explosive comes definitely easier for me. But yeah, I mean, that's super challenging to go down there, to diet hard, cut the weight. Someone like Palomino, he's so good with his footwork. Then you got someone like Gogo, who he's just fucking looking to send your fucking head into the 10th row.
Yep.
There's talented fighters there. There's talented fighters in every division. And fighting these big boys is a risk. It's a risk fighting 75 or 65 and then fighting 85 and on. I mean, that's a risk. It's a bare knuckle. You take one shot and it's time to go night-night. And that's the beautiful thing about this sport, but it's also the beautiful thing of what I'm trying to do. And that's just fight everybody within a reasonable weight of mine. Ideally going up to 205 in heavyweight. That's not real. That's not realistic.
Right.
That's just not a realistic thing. But just having that mindset, that's key.
I would love to see a Mike Richmond versus Mike Perry fight. I'll tell you.
Yeah. I lost respect. I lost respect for that dude. I thought, and it is what it is. I thought he was a guy. He reminded me of Diaz's brother guy that he fucking, did his own thing, didn't give a fuck, didn't really click up with nobody, just kind of like, I'll fight you. But then, you want to click up with fucking Lorenzo and be his little dick rider, man. Like, and granted, I've called Perry out in the past. I would love to fight him. I think we put on a super entertaining fight. That'd be a great fight. I just, he didn't strike me as a little dick rider clicking up with someone else. He struck me as a dude, a solo, dolo guy. But, I guess I was wrong.
I didn't realize he was doing that.
Me neither.
On Instagram, he's been riding with Lorenzo.
Okay, all right. I didn't realize that was going on.
That's cool. Right. That's cool. He didn't strike me as that type. But
I gotta tell you, man, like it's funny because you and him, the two Mikes, must be like Feldman must love you too, because I feel like you and Perry match up so well with so many people throughout so many divisions. It's fucking like a promoter's goddamn dream. It's like you, can hold your own with the top of the division in like 4 different divisions. And I feel like Mike Perry can kind of do the same thing. And that's why I like a fight between the two of you guys down the road at like 175 would be.
No, I love that. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I would never, it sounds like he's got a big fight, a big name fight. And I get it. Perry's getting the big paychecks. I'm getting paid, not too bad, but I'm sure Mike Perry's paychecks are bigger than mine. But, due to his name and what he built in the UFC, and credit to him, he's an entertaining fighter, but I still want to fucking punch him in the face.
And we want to see you punch him in the face. So that's the joy. That's the joys of the sport, right? Yeah. When we get to Albuquerque, Mike, is there going to be a big section of Marines just going all out for you, or what? Did you find a whole crew of Marines, a whole brigade to come in?
I got at least. I know I got 2 tables worth of Marines that I served in Iraq with, several tours in Iraq with, combat tours that they're coming out. So 2 tables of Marines that I served with, and maybe some of their significant others are coming out. I sold 6 tables total, so I'm gonna have a good squad of people out there for me, cheering me on. And we're still trying to figure out if we can get some Marines out there to kind of come out with me in the entrance. That would be dope. Whether we can make it happen or not would be awesome. It's just, every fight I go out there, I take the brotherhood with me. I take them with me on my shoulders, and it's always victory or Valhalla for me. And I think about it every fucking time, and they ride with me.
That's awesome.
I love that. Yeah, man. I don't know what you were like. Were you picturing like Marines lining the walkway and you walking down?
Yeah, like maybe ideally the Marines in their dress blues.
Dude, that'd be so sick.
Dress blues would be dope.
That would be very fucking cool, man. You got to get the music right too, though. I don't know what kind of. Have you decided? I know you had always said you come out to Back in Black forever, but you were thinking about some DMX. Have you decided on something?
And I think it all depends on. It all depends if they are coming out or not. That switches up things, the tempo of obviously what type of song it would be. You know what I mean?
Right. Man. Well, dude, we finally got this fight here. We finally got it. It started back in June. Can you pinpoint now? I mean, we might have had this conversation before, but we had the altercation in Hollywood happened, but it started online like a couple weeks prior to that. Was it the post that Lorenzo posted with him interviewing you, and then he mentioned something about you all think this guy can beat me? You're fucking crazy. Was that what was like sparked?
I think it started before that, but I can't even pinpoint it now because I think it started before that, which led to him posting that and whatnot. Because I think maybe posted. It was just I don't know, maybe one of his interviews. Something along the lines of, he's acting like people are scared to fight him and no one wants to fight him at 85 or this or that. And I just think it's a dumb thing to say. We're all fucking fighters and we're all ready to get in there and scrap and get after it. And so that's when I was like, no, fuck that. I'll go up the way and fight you. You think that you're just this bad monster that no one wants to fight? No, that's not it at all. Everyone wants to fight. So to sit there and say that people didn't want to fight him really irked me. And then the evolution of his character rubbed me the wrong way, because if you watch back to when he first started, he seemed like a humble dude, nice dude. I hear stories of him being nice, talking to other fighters with big names. And then after his Trujillo fight, he went on a run of wins, and then all of a sudden, he started feeling himself, and he probably thought, let me switch the fucking gimmick up. Let me be this fucking you love me or hate me type of character. And I don't respect that.
So last night when we talked to him, we kind of asked him like, hey, when did that switch flip? Like, exactly when? I felt like it was like around the Dyer fight, like right after that. What he told us, and obviously you could choose to believe him or not, but he said it was because he got skipped over for the title in the cruiserweight division, and he was number 1 in 2 divisions. And then all of a sudden Joe Riggs came out of nowhere and he got the fight, and Hector. And so he went to Hector's gym to try to confront him. And after that, he was like, I was pissed because I'm a no-name guy and I'm not getting any clout. Nobody's paying attention to me. So I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to fucking turn it up. And that's what he said.
I get that. It seems like a reasonable reason for him to do that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I still don't respect it. That wouldn't be the route that I would take.
Sure.
And I understand his frustration, when he got into the, when he got into bare knuckle, he didn't have a name behind him to back up any of his wins. So he was just a 2-7 MMA guy from Florida. In his fights, he's wearing shin guards, and he didn't have no backing behind him. So then you come over here and you get some wins here and there, and no one really gives you no attention. Sure, I can understand that you're like, let me go the fucking Colby Covington route or whatever, and let me turn this, crank it up. I just don't respect that, because I don't think that's how I don't think that's his true character.
Right.
But he got what he wanted.
He did. It worked. And now
he got to become the face. He got to become he got to do all the things. So it worked for him. So good on him. I still don't respect it for it.
But what is cool about it, though, he did build his own image in this sport, and you have been doing the same for yourself, just being yourself. And you're not exactly homegrown here, but you are kind of becoming one of the faces of the sport. And for a fight card of this magnitude, with these kind of people on it, with Diego Sanchez and Austin Trout and John Dotson and the Dotsons on there, and Greg Harding on there, and Faria, if she's going to be on there, we still don't know. They still haven't even put her on the website or anything. You and Lorenzo are on top of that card, and that's got to feel pretty fucking goddamn good, right? This is another main event for you, and it's on the biggest stage in front of one of the biggest crowds that they've ever pulled out for bare knuckle. So
yeah, out of all, if it definitely feels good. Every one of my fights have been a main event, except for my very first fight was a co-main event, and all the others were main events. But then to come in and Knuckle Mania 3 and main event the biggest bare knuckle show in the world, once a year to do it, it's an attribute to lifelong career, a combination of MMA into bare knuckle, and have a good run in bare knuckle. But it takes a partner, it takes a dance partner to bring you to that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It takes someone like Lorenzo. It takes someone like that to elevate two kind of just pure bare knuckle guys, right? And highlight a whole show. So of course, I'm happy. I'm excited about that. Do I think I would have been a main event of Knuckle Mania 3 without Lorenzo? No, I don't. I'm a realist. I don't know who I would fight right now. That would be my partner. Maybe a Perry. Maybe
it could have been Perry.
But it would be, once again, it's because of the partnership. It's because of the two guys fighting each other. Right. So that's just what it is. And we're going to put on a great fight, and I'm going to bring the fucking action to him. He can be uber confident. I feel real good.
And we'll kind of end it on that with you. We have a question in the audience, and that piggybacks perfectly off of what you just said. Big Ben in the comment section says that you have said in the past that everything that you touch, you destroy. Do you see yourself putting him out in the main event at Knuckle Mania 3, or do you see this being a dogfight through five full rounds?
I think his chin is questionable. He has been knocked down. I think he does get clipped, and he gets little flash knockdowns. He's only been put out cold once. Obviously, the trio hits heavy, but he has little flash knockdowns that happen here and there. That some little flash knockdowns, and maybe the ref didn't see, like when Quentin Henry flash knocked him down, and then he popped back up, and that led to the whole fucking debacle. I think if he would have called that knockdown right then and there, that fucking whole fight could have went a different way. I do think his chin is suspect. I know he doesn't seem to do well on the body, and I'm going to fucking murder that body. I'm going to put him down. It's just a matter of he gets up or not. And do I think he has the capability of putting me down and putting me out? Sure. This is bare knuckle. And dude's a big dude that can crack. But I don't give a fuck, and that's the beauty of it. I don't care, Lorenzo. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be in the pocket. I'm going to be slipping and ripping. And when you think I'm going to the head, I'm going to break those fucking ribs, or I'm coming to that liver, the solar plexus. So I hope you're ready for it all, because I can bring it all.
Jeez. Woo. God damn it, man. This is like one of the most hype we've ever been for one of these events. I swear to God, I can't wait to get down there on Wednesday. We'll see you at the open workouts. Hopefully you guys aren't brawling at the open workouts. We'll see you at the weigh-ins. Hopefully you're not brawling at the weigh-ins. And then can't wait for that fight on Friday. I want to ask you a couple questions. It's not a speed round. It's not a game, but we asked some questions to Austin Trout last night, and I liked his answers on these. I just want to get the same questions for you. Let's go right through these real quick. Who you got winning the Super Bowl? Will the Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend?
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
You got the Eagles. All right, number 2, Mike.
Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather 2 pay-per-view. You want to see it?
No.
Good. I mean, listen. I say the same thing. We already saw it once. Nobody needs.
Now, if he elevated, let me caveat to that. If he elevated himself, and let's say he goes on this nice little MMA run, and because that's what happens in fighting, right? You prize fighting, right. You hit peaks and valleys. Once, I love Jorge Masvidal. That dude was on top of the world. Now he has all the haters in the world. That's what fucking happens because glory is fleeting. Now, if Conor McGregor went on a nice little run, absolutely, I'd like to see number 2. But as of right now, in this moment, no.
All right, number 3, will Ryan Garcia beat Gervonta Davis on April 15th?
No. I'm a fan of both, but I love the way Gervonta Davis fights. That dude is fucking an animal. I love his style. He's a southpaw. I love all southpaws, and the way that he just fucking whips energy from his feet all the way to his fist. He's nasty. I love him.
Dude's a fucking tank for a reason. He hits like a tank too. Number 4.
All right. Francis Ngannou will beat one of these big names in a boxing match. Tyson Fury?
No.
Deontay Wilder?
He has a chance, and with Wilder and Joshua, no. Tyson, no. Joshua, no. He's got a puncher's chance with Wilder, but I think Wilder would probably catch him too because they would just be fucking just going at it.
Okay.
There you go. All right. And then I think you already answered this last question. Will you win via knockout at KnuckleMania 3?
Yes.
There you go. Mike the Marine Richmond. You came on here. You delivered again. We are more hyped up than we were half an hour ago. Take a minute, say some final words, deliver any message you want to do, and we'll let you get back to your gangster business that you look like. You look like your Sopranos character for sure right now.
I love it. No, I just appreciate you guys, Mike and Mish. You guys, the premier, guys when it comes to the media and talking to us fighters, fans. And I love you guys. Been super supportive of me from the very beginning. And, I hope everyone enjoys the fight next Friday on the 17th. Big shout out to OnlyFans, Lions Not Sheep. Sean Whalen is such a fucking good dude, man. I'm happy to be aboard the Lions Not Sheep team and be sponsored by them. Bad matchup. They always make my dope ass shorts. I got another pair of sweet shorts coming out. And Knockout Canada. I appreciate them for always showing me love and support as well. So, it's fucking showtime, baby.
It's showtime. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on. Mike, you got anything else for the Marine?
Thanks for the kind words, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Take it easy.
Later. Oh, man. Oh, man. I like that guy. The thing is, I like both of these guys in the main event. They're both completely different personalities.
Yeah.
They're both completely different fighters. We get along with we have
everybody. Such a different relationship with all the fighters. So that's the thing. Like when they're talking, right? So audience, when you're watching this, right? And they're talking about, like, obviously I'm getting into Mike Richmond. He's talking about beating up X fighter in my head. Like whoever he's saying, he says things and I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm getting excited about it. But it's like, how excited can I get? Because obviously on the other side, Lorenzo, we've known him too since Knuckle Mania 1, and behind the scenes, if we talk to him, he's always been nice. So it's so hard to sit there and you listen to these two guys that you like, and they're talking about knocking each other out. And it's like, is there a way that you guys can both win? I don't know. And you can still beat the shit out of each other. I don't. So yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough, but I can tell you what, I'm going to watch every second of this at the edge of my seat.
You have to. And if you guys don't have the app, if you're watching this show, you probably have the app, but if you don't have the app, go to our Instagram page, go to the bio. We have the link tree there. In the top part of the bio has our link, which is going across the bottom of the screen right now. You use that link, get the app. It'll hook us up with a little bit of credit for it. And you guys will get, if you get this right now, did you see the next four events?
Did you?
I posted something the other day, and like the next 4 events are absolutely fucking insane. And you can get it. The app, that thing at the bottom is not correct right now. Actually, it went up to $7.99 a month, but I believe
they did change it.
It changed to $7.99 a month, but I believe if you get it for a full year, it's still $49.99.
I think you are correct. I did see that. Yep.
So get on that link and buy the year for $49.99, because for $49.99, for $50, the next 4 events is a steal. And then you get all the rest of them for the rest of the year. And we already know that there's an event coming up in April that's going to be headlined by Mike Perry. He said it on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani the other day. And we don't know who he's fighting, but he went berserk on Ariel's show and said, I'm headlining. I think he said April 29th. Don't quote me on that, but I think he said April 29th, Platinum motherfucking Perry, main event, super fight. I don't know my opponent yet, though.
He probably does. He probably does.
Who do you think? Let's speculate for a second here, Mike. He says that he doesn't know, but he was told that he's going to headline an event April 29th for BKFC. If you had to throw a guess out there, he called it a super fight. And that's why at first I was like, ooh, Dave Mundell and Mike Perry.
Exactly what I was thinking.
But would you call that a super fight? I would call that a great title fight.
It would be a great fight, right? I feel if he's alluding to the super fight, I feel like they're bringing someone in.
Oh, Big Ben guesses Eddie Alvarez.
It's got to be someone that they're bringing in. Like if he's playing it off like that, like he's saying it's going to be a super fight, like it's a because if he doesn't fight Dave Mundell, they better be bringing in some crazy talent because that's Dave Mundell's. That should be the fight, you know.
Right. It's like the two guesses that Big Ben is saying in the comments are the ones that make the most sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Nate
you can hear
Diaz,
me. But we brought both of them up when Perry was on the show like a month or two ago. That was right when both of those guys became free agents.
Yeah.
And we asked him about both of them, and he was excited to fight both of those guys.
Yes, he was.
If it is one of those, Chad Mendez is a 155er. He's too small for Mike Perry. So that answers that question. Perry and Jorge, I don't know if Jorge Masvidal. No, Jorge Masvidal is fighting. Who the fuck's he fighting? He's fighting Gilbert Burns. I think in April. So he's fighting Gilbert Burns on a UFC card. It's probably going to be either Nate Diaz or Eddie Alvarez. It's probably going to be one of those. Yeah, it's going to be one of those two.
Yeah, Eddie Alvarez is probably the best bet. I think. I'm surprised. Outside of maybe him asking for too much money, right? That would be the one reason I would see him not coming aboard because the Underground King, the guy talked about fighting, street fighting, doing all sorts of crazy shit. We know he's a stand up and bang type of guy. He's going to go in there and he's going to come forward. He's going to be extremely entertaining. And he's also a local guy to the company. You know, they're all from Philly, the Philly area. So I feel like he's like the prime talent from that area that they haven't picked up yet. You know what I mean? For BKFC to not pick him up. It has to be the only reason could be is like he just wants too much money.
Right.
So, but I don't think he wants as much money as Nate Diaz does. I think he wants maybe a quarter of what Nate Diaz is asking for. He's probably asking for.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like you and I were talking with David Feldman at the Denver event.
Oh yeah, it was a long time
ago.
Yeah.
And we asked him about Eddie Alvarez because Eddie Alvarez was already a free agent back in October when we were in Denver, and he said he knows Eddie, and Eddie's a Philly guy. He's like, we've definitely been in contact with Eddie. We're talking with him. We'll see. You know, he gave us we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm trying to talk Eddie into coming over here, and like I believe David Feldman could do it. I think he can get him there.
Yeah.
And, oh man, would that be a cool ass fight? But Eddie Alvarez was a 155er his whole career, and even blown up. I don't know. I wonder how he would be at 175. Oh, Big Ben with a slick guess right there. But Donald Cerrone is walking around
220 pounds right now or something.
Yeah, he actually Donald Cerrone like openly talked about getting on the sauce to get buff for fucking movie roles and shit.
Huge.
So Cowboy is huge right now. If you guys haven't seen him, look him up. He says he's walking around 220 for a guy who spent his entire career at 155 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. He's massive. Look him up. Look him up right now and see the pictures of this guy.
He looks awesome.
Like entirely different. Like he's completely different than he
That's
used
why
to.
it's
insane.
I think I joked around the other day and said that I would love to see Donald Cerrone and like Alan Belcher at 225 pounds.
Yeah. Those two guys. Yeah. It's funny because they didn't fight it that like they're so different than they used to be. It's wild that, for people waiting right now too for Diego Sanchez, I don't know what's going on here. He's still not in the room. We're sending him invites.
Listen,
he's posting live videos.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and say that that we're not going to get him tonight because it's funny. Like sometimes this shit happens. We are a week out from their fight. He has said yes to come on the show. We were in contact with him a few days ago, and then the last 2 days he kind of really hasn't answered. And then he did a live right before we went on the air tonight, and he was at the gym training. And then in the live, he said that he was going to do cryotherapy and a few other things to recover. So, anyways, man, I cannot wait for this event next week. Obviously,
Roberto Armas you guys need me to fill in. Look at this guy.
Roberto Armas is. I mean, we could always pull him in for a minute, but I'm content with leaving it as it is right now. No offense to you, Roberto, but Mike and I have been running it like full speed ahead for too fucking long here. And
do you get someone you want to call out, or is that like you want like a quick 5-minute call out or something? Do you have something you want to say?
Listen, I'll just shoot him a fucking invite. Whatever. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's get another.
If the guy wants to get something off of his chest, we're not going to have a 30-minute conversation here. But if you want to get on here and call someone out, if you get something to get off your chest, hey, by all means, let's get him in here. Let's let him speak his piece, right?
Can you try to send that?
Yeah.
You send it. I don't know what's
right now.
Going.
Let's go back to that New Orleans card.
The New Orleans card. Yeah. So like I was saying, these next 4 cards are absolutely fucking insane. And the New Orleans card, you got Arnold Adams and Alan Belcher headlining that card, but you also have Caleb Harris and Brad Kelly and James Lilly and Bobby Taylor on there. You got a bunch of GOAT combat guys. You got Brett Williams getting back in there as well, and Tyler Samus, the 18-year-old that the 18-year-old that made a big splash with a beautiful knockout last year. He's making his return, so that's going to be a great one. Mike, let me ask you about the
we got Ryan Perez wants to get something off his chest too here. Look at this.
What? Okay. Well, can I ask you your thoughts on the main event for New Orleans? Can I where's your head at with this fight with Alan Belcher and Arnold Adams? Because we haven't seen Arnold. No. And I want listen, I'm going to say something right now. For anybody who thinks that Alan Belcher has been any more active than Arnold Adams has, I heard some people saying that the other day.
Yeah.
Arnold Adams fought last May, and the last time that we saw Alan Belcher in a squared circle for the BKFC was last June. Yeah. So it was the very next month later is when Alan Belcher fought, and he hasn't fought since either. So both of those guys have been out for a minute, and they're going to be fighting each other. I want to get your opinion on that, but let's go ahead and bring Roberto Armas is in the surprise guest by Roberto Armas. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm not Diego Sanchez, but I'll fill in for a little bit.
Yo, hey, listen, do me a favor. Do an impression of Diego Sanchez right now. What would you do? If I told you to pretend to be Diego Sanchez, what would you do?
I guess it depends on what era Diego Sanchez we're talking about.
All right. You're walking out to a fight to go fight Clay Guida right now. You are walk out Diego Sanchez. Do it.
That's usually the face he gets going.
You gotta go like this. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That was a very good fight.
All the way to
Clay Guida. My favorite Diego
real
Sanchez
angry.
fight was Diego and Gilbert Melendez.
Oh, dude, the Diego and
man.
that's why I wish he was on tonight, because I wanted to talk to him. Like, two of my favorite fights of all time include him, and it's the Clay Guida and the Gilbert Melendez fight was fantastic.
I think he would have beat him if they gave him 5 rounds.
Yeah, that fight was just
it was insane.
The pace. So the thing is with Diego heading into his first bare knuckle fight, fighting a guy like Austin Trout, if he reverts back to like that era of aggression, Diego Sanchez could be a real fucking bad motherfucker in this sport.
I 100% agree with you, man. And I've been watching Diego since the beginning of Tough, and I'm stoked. I'm fanboying right now. I came to tune in to watch him, but he's not here. But we'll talk about him. I think he's definitely gonna bring it to Trout. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as he thinks.
Yeah, the one thing, and we asked him last night about, hey, have you trained with any wrestlers or anything? Because as Kyle says, a wrestler's grip is unlike any other grip that you will feel in your life. Their wrist strength and control is unbelievable. And he's not just any wrestler. He's not just any wrestler. Like, he's the top of the fucking line. If he can grab and get because he's going to go right at him. Diego Sanchez is going to run right at him, beeline, and get on the inside, and he's going to grab him. And that's going to happen. So I wonder how Trout, yeah, sure. If they just straight up box, of course Trout's going to fucking get the better of him, right? He's a way better boxer. But can he box with his head held down? I don't know. I wonder because it's a different sport.
There's a weight disparity too. And you got to take that into account when you have a bigger dude that knows how to wrestle and use that kind of weight on the inside. It makes a hell of a lot of difference, grabbing and pulling people. But Trout said he's been working that dirty boxing and clinching and stuff. So, he might be ready, but
yeah,
that's a different caliber wrestler and grappler that you have there. So, I think if Diego can, he's going to bull rush, maybe he doesn't, but if he can just kind of be a little bit patient and then get on the inside and work in there, I think he can make it very, very messy for Trout.
I'm hoping for if you watched his last 2 fights, he looked better. Diego did. If you just eliminate that Joshua Fabia era of his career out of his career, he did not look like himself, he did not fight like himself, he didn't act like himself, he didn't talk like him. Like, Diego was always a strange dude and like a little out there, even in the Ultimate Fighter when he was like drunk
meditating Diego,
but he was like out he was out like punching at aliens and shit, and then he was always a little on the crazy side, and that's what we love about Diego Sanchez. But then he hooked up with that guru, that wellness guru guy, whatever it was, the wellness,
Josh Fabia,
the school of self-awareness.
Yeah,
that it completely changed Diego. Like, Diego was different in interviews. It was like, it was almost like he wasn't allowed to talk at times. He seemed like a little almost like under control, you know what I mean? It was odd, and I'm really glad. And all those crazy training videos were coming out where he's like hanging him by his feet and like speed bagging his fucking head and shit. You remember that?
Yeah,
man. It was just wild stuff, man. And I feel like that was like a real crazy time, like crazier time for Diego. He's out of that now. He seems so much more clear thinking now. Like we were talking about it last night with Austin Trout at the press conference. Diego looked and sounded great. Like, he sounded dialed in. And I
noticed that too. When he was talking and they were asking him these questions, I was like, man, I for a moment thought he was a little punch. He got hit a little bit too many times, but night and day difference in these interviews. I was like, you wouldn't be able to tell that this guy's been doing it for that long, 20 plus years, probably.
Yeah, I think it's like 22-year career right now.
I couldn't have. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's crazy.
He looked good. I mean, he sounded great. I don't know how he's going to look in the ring next week, but I know that he's training his ass off. He's taking this very serious. He's running mountains in Albuquerque, and he does sound sharp on the mic. So, I mean,
that Joshua Fabia situation really, like his career. Sure, it's coming to the end. I mean, he's older. We all know he's getting to the end of his career. But say he had a quarter of his career left, that Joshua Fabia thing just chopped it right there. It just like he could have been 75% through his career. It brought him right to 100, like immediately, because of how crazy that situation was. And I feel like a lot of people now are like, nah, forget it. He's done. He shouldn't be fighting anymore. He's got head trauma. He's got all this stuff, and it's all because of that whole situation. If that situation didn't happen, I think people would still think like, he's probably got a couple fights left, but they probably wouldn't be as strong with their opinion about saying like, he's all done. He's done,
You're right. But if you've been a Diego Sanchez fan for a while, you would know that, there's the dude changes he goes through some phases there.
Right.
But I mean, I wouldn't have said all that, I just think he was with a different training person, and it's obvious that it was affecting the way he was reacting in public.
Yeah.
That's what I was noticing, at least.
No, I think they're taking all that, like they waited until the right time to sign him to a fight here. Like he had told us when we were in Albuquerque back in August, we talked to Diego, and he said that he was talking to Feldman back in 2019 and wanted to fight for the BKFC, but he still had, contractual obligations for UFC, and it just wasn't possible at the time. And now, flash forward 3 years later, he's got this opportunity to maybe if he comes out and looks amazing, like maybe he's got another couple of years left in a new era of his career and adds to his legacy. You know what I mean? And maybe it erases that little gap of his legacy that people want to keep questioning right now.
I mean, it'd be pretty fun to watch him fight Mike Perry.
Oh man, it would be like you just talked about Gilbert Melendez. Now, Gil Melendez and him running it back in the squared circle in the BKFC would be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I'm not sure what Gilbert Melendez is doing nowadays.
I don't know. I don't see him fighting anywhere. So I mean, like maybe that'd be one that BKFC might want to reach out to and say, hey, Scrap Packer, why don't you come over here and run this one back with our boy? But hey, we talked enough about Diego Sanchez, and we're not going to keep you too long here. But you just showed up at Myrtle Beach when we were down there, and you dispatched of Jacoby Lowry pretty damn quick. You looked great. You sounded great. You were all smiles before. You were all smiles after. What's next for you, man? Have you already been contacted? Has Kevin talked to you about maybe getting you right back in there? And in a couple months or so, or what's up?
Oh, I mean, Kevin and I talked. I do have some obligations come June, so I'll be out for 4 months starting June. So I know that I won't be able to fight during that time. But anytime before that or after, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Whatever the fans want to see.
So you said you're going to be out of action from 4 months starting in June, July, August.
Yeah. So I'd probably do it the month prior to June because I needed to do some preparation and training. So what is it? May, June, June, July, August, and September. So I'll be back like in October.
There you go. I hope we get you back in. I mean, I would love to see you didn't take any damage and you look sharp as ever. So I don't see. I would love to. I know that
I threw it out there. I said, Knuckle Mania is around the corner, and so is this card here in New Orleans, and the Delray card in Florida. And I'm not one of those people that goes out and parties after fight camps anymore. I don't even drink that much alcohol. To tell you the truth, I don't eat unhealthy, so I'm
Well,
right
I
on
can tell you
track.
right now, I'm looking at the Del Rey fight card, and right now they only have 4 fights posted, so they could easily find you a guy for there. Norfolk, they don't even have a fight card listed yet, so Virginia is wide open. And like we just talked about a little earlier with, I don't know if we were talking about it with Mike Richmond or me and Mike just been talking about it, but Mike Perry mentioned a
Fighting me?
no. He
No, I'm
he
just
mentioned
kidding.
he mentioned headlining a BKFC card in April. I don't know where that location is going to be, but maybe that's another one that you could try to get yourself on before June. Call
Yeah.
out some people. Everyone's in the comments telling you to call some people out. Call some people out.
Why don't the people tell me who they want me to fight, man?
Call out. Call out. That's
Who
what
do
they're
you
saying.
guys want to see
Call
me
out.
fight?
Call
That's
out.
a question.
I would have to go through the division right now, and I just feel like you at this point you're 1-1, right? 1-1.
Yeah, I mean,
You're coming off a knockout. So
we have Diaz, right? We have Diaz,
David Diaz
for the baddest Mexican in the barrio.
Oh,
We got
okay.
that title. He seems like a scrapper, and I like scrapping. So, I mean, I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying that'd be a good fight for the fans.
No. Okay, so you're calling out David Diaz. You're calling out Travis Thompson. You're calling out Shady Grady. You're calling out the winner of this Tito fight coming up.
Shady Grady. I'll fight Shady Grady, but we have to allow headbutts.
You're gonna allow them.
Yeah, we'll allow them.
Special stipulations for the fight.
Special stipulations. That way, there's no DQs, and we can just continue.
Yeah. Nah, man. Well, Kevin Smith, if you're watching this right now, he's calling out one of your guys. No, I'm just joking. I'm fucking around. Travis Thompson. Kevin, he's calling out one of your other guys. He's calling out David Diaz. Get these guys on the phone, on the horn. Albert Incline looked really good in that fight against Evan Gibson. Maybe you could scrap with that dude too. Do these names interest you?
Once again, man, whatever the crowd wants to see, I think they're the reason why we fight. If they want to see us fight, then we're gonna fight whoever they line up in front of us, whoever they want to see us fight. That's the fight we have to make.
There it is. Kevin's in the comments right there. Always watching. He wants everyone. So there's your minute.
Okay.
Yep. So Kevin's listening. His ears are perked up, and he is on it for you, man. I hope we see you back in there prior to you being out of commission for 4 months. We're going to bring on the cheat code in a second. So let's give you a chance to deliver any message you want to shoot out there to anybody that's listening.
Anybody that's listening, all the fans out there, whoever you guys want to see me fight next, go ahead, put it in the comment section. I'll check them out. We'll definitely ask Kevin what he thinks, and then we can put it out there. Maybe the fans will get the fight that they want. That's what I want to throw out there.
There it is, man.
All right.
I hope we get some fight news for you soon. Thank you for popping in here all of a sudden. And great Diego Sanchez impression. That was that was great. I love it. Mike, you got anything else for Roberto?
No.
All right.
No, I don't got anything left. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Dropped in, helped us out a little bit here. Diego Sanchez kind of big time does hair, so we'll have to catch up with them in Albuquerque. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anytime, man. Anytime you guys need me, I'm here. I don't do shit at night.
All right, you meet us down there in Albuquerque in case we need some.
Yeah, we're gonna need help.
Talk to Diego.
Man, this is the guy that imitated me.
Yeah.
We're gonna show him. We're gonna show him.
All right, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.
Later. Yeah, we'll show him.
Roberto
we'll say, hey,
Armas.
Do you know Roberto Armas? You should see he was imitating you on the show, unprovoked. Don't even know why he started doing it. He just started doing it.
We'll cut that part out of the show.
Yeah.
We'll cut me talking to him first and just have him do it.
That'll be his next fight.
Absent-minded said Rusty Crowder. He's got a lot of options, man. A Rookie Randall's coming up with a fight, right? You got Rookie Randall already has a fight. Let's get the cheat code in here, and we'll wrap up the show with the leader of the Slaughterhouse gang over there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Ryan Perez, what's up, buddy?
What's up, my boy? How are you, sir?
Hello.
We're always good. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hanging out, chilling, enjoying your show as usual.
Nice. I see you got
Appreciate
the guerrilla warfare gear on, huh?
Oh yeah, all day.
Warfare. Go use promo code. Hey, if you're gonna get any guerrilla warfare stuff, Ryan, could you do me a favor and use promo code Mike and Mish and
save 50%?
I mean, I gotta get my percentage too, right? So they gotta use my promo code.
We'll give you 5% of the 15%.
Yeah. All right, that works.
Yeah. So what's good, man? You got you finally got your shiny fucking prize toy. The man himself is finally gonna make his debut in the BKFC ring, right? Let's talk about it. Tell us who it is and why you've been so goddamn excited about this for so long.
I mean, to be honest with you, like I didn't even want to put him in bare knuckle because he's such an amazing boxer. So it wasn't like something I wanted to do, but you know, boxing is so fucked up that it had him sitting on the bench for a whole year because of bad contracts and bad deals.
And real quick, who are we talking about for people who might not know?
His name's Bryce Henry. He's a 5-0 pro boxer. He fights at 155, 165.
He's like 6'3", 6'4", something?
6'5".
6'5".
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's by far the best, and not because I train him. Like in my whole time ever being a coach, I think I've seen 3 kids, Teofimo Lopez being one of them, that I was like, fuck, that kid got it. And Bryce is one of them, those kids out of the 3 that I've seen. One of them is Teofimo, another one was Xander Zayas, and then, Bryce. Sorry, my fucking lights are off.
What is it about him that makes you say that? Like, is he just extremely teachable? Is he just like perfect? Is perfect with his technique? What is it about him?
He's a freak. Like he's just a freak of nature. It's just so weird to see someone that tall that you think like your advantage is like, oh, let me get on the inside on him. You would think that's your advantage, but it's really not, because his growth spurt came from like 1 year to the next. So he was usually the smaller guy. You know what I mean? And then from 1 year to the next, he fucking skyrocketed to like a giant.
Wow.
So, he likes the inside fight. So it's like people think that, I'm going to get inside on him and that's going to be their advantage. And it just gets worse. And honestly, like, bro, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I just sit back in awe, like when I watch him spar and I watch him fight. And he had like 60 something amateur fights. He's fought like the best kids in England, the best kids in America. Like he's up there. Like he's a real deal.
How old is he?
22 or 21 now? 22?
Man, very young. Very young.
And we were on a good run. We did 5 pro fights in 1 year. He fought on Triller. Like we were headed in the right direction, but we just had such a half-ass bad deal with this promoter that I just had to put him on the bench for a whole year. So the guy couldn't meet his obligations, and then we just were able to get out of our contract. But he literally was a dick and sat the kid on the bench, him and his brother, for a whole year.
Ugh.
Hey, was the Triller card that he was on? Was it an actual boxing match, or was it with the Triller Triad?
No, it was a real boxing match.
It was a boxing match. Okay.
Yeah. He fought a guy with like 40 professional. It was funny because Sean Wheelock was the referee for that fight, and in the beginning of the fight, he's like, this is really bad coaching, having a guy in here with like 4 professional fights against a guy with 40 fights. And then by round 3, he had a whole different fucking tone. He was like, this is ridiculous. Who is this kid? So, he's special, bro.
For those listening to Ryan talk right now, Sean Wheelock was not refereeing that fight. He was commentating it. I don't think Sean Wheelock would be inside that ring, right, Ryan?
No, he was commentating it.
Yeah, you said referee, and I just
sorry. Yeah, he was commentating, and it was funny because he didn't really remember the fight, and then he's so organized that when he went back into his notes before that fight that I told him, he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I remember that kid." So
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one because I feel like I watched it and I don't remember watching Bryce fight because I watched which Triller card was he on? A Jake Paul card, or was it?
No, it was like the one with
Tyson Roy Jones,
like the Anderson Silva or something like that was on that card.
Oh, okay.
One of the Silvas was on that card.
Triller-verse 2.
Yeah, it was those shows that they were having where it was like half boxing, and then at the end of the half boxing, it was like a rapping concert.
Yeah.
It was one
Yeah.
of those. And
Yeah.
bro, and we took the fight. I took the fight last minute. We fought at like light heavyweight just
Wow.
for shits and giggles. And just to get our opportunity on TV. And then, it was just the guy that we signed with just shitted on us. So now he's free of that deal. So I just want to get him in the I want to put him on here. I want to put him on the George Masvidal boxing shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to put him on all the lanes that I could put him on because he's a superstar. His brother is just as good. So it's just getting them the exposure. So I figure if I put him in bare knuckle for 2 or 3 fights, I could get him the exposure and then see who's interested in him.
Can we do one thing for Bryce? How do we get him a picture on the
No.
BKFC website, huh? How can we get a picture up there?
Good luck. That kid's IG has like 4 pictures. Like he's not that kid.
Get a picture of him and get it sent around. We'll all send it in.
Listen, for years I've told him like, hey, this is how you have to get sponsors. You need to promote yourself. I've always said there's only 2 types of fighters in this world. There's the Olympians and then there's the kid from the street. That's it. There's no in-betweens. So the kid from the street is good at promoting himself because he's on the street. He knows how to survive. The Olympian is like the Michael Jacksons of boxing and shit like that. They don't leave the gym. They're bred in the gym. They have no friends. They only interact with the people in the gym. And those type of fighters, unfortunately, are like the best ones, but they don't get the limelight that the ones who are out there really like on the streets promoting themselves and have that personality get. So I'm really grateful that BKFC gave me this opportunity with Bryce too, because like I know he's not going to sell any tickets. That's a fact. Like he doesn't even give a shit about posting an IG post. And I bet, listen, he did a podcast the other day. That's why I've even asked of him to be on he was on a podcast, and mid conversation he walked away and started doing jump rope and exercising. And the guy was like, I guess he's done talking to me, and that was the end of the conversation.
No shit. Wow.
I swear to God, like that's just who he is. He's a very special like talent, and he knows it. Like he fucking knows it.
So he's made an account on Instagram June 2015, right? You know how many posts he has? 21.
Since 2015?
Yeah.
So he averages 1 a year.
You ain't lying, huh?
No, 2 a year.
No, and I'm telling you, this kid has been in training camps with Gervonta Davis, with like real fighters. He doesn't give a shit because he's like, I'll beat them all up if they gave me the opportunity. So he's not starstruck. Like he's not like I've literally sat in the corner with him in fights and just like ate nachos and would just tell him in the corner like you're so fucking sexy and just gave him water and shit because it's ridiculous. Like it's just he's that talented. So I'm really curious because bare knuckle is definitely different than boxing. So I want to see how his skills transition into this. But if I could get 50% of what I get in boxing out of him in this, a lot of fucking people are in trouble.
Wow.
Like, because I see it all. I remember I spar him against Gogo. I spar him against Jomi. I spar him with Howard. I spar him with all these guys who are being successful in this. So, and I see that he's like light years ahead of them.
Wow.
So I can't see how, like, he wanted to fight. Who do you want? If he wanted to fight Chad Mendes, when I asked him, I was like, who do you want to like for your debut? He said Chad Mendes, Palomino, Mike Perry. Like he was just going for all those guys. Like he doesn't even want to get his feet wet.
You had to explain to him that's not really how the business works, my friend.
No, I told him, I was like, get 3 wins, and then you can start talking your shit because
3 wins
like
and 10 posts at least.
Yeah,
10.
that's not gonna happen. Like that's why I B-sided him in he's going against a 1-0 guy who's 6'5", like he's a 6'5" 6'4". He fights in a heavier weight class. I'm giving the guy all the advantages, home court. I'm giving him all the advantages to have somebody take a fight against him. So we'll see.
I'm super excited to see him fight. I think the first time you may have mentioned him to us was in Albuquerque the last time.
Yeah.
And you had said, oh, there's this guy, but I don't know if I'm going to bring him in a bare knuckle, whatever. And then since then, we've talked to just about every single fighter in your stable there, and every single one of them have the same reaction, the same things to say. So I can't wait. I cannot wait to see him fight. I'm very excited.
And if I could convince his little brother is like a pure boxer, like a purist, like a real student of the game. Like he's a real purist. So when I tell him like, oh, you want to do bare knuckle? He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, so I would be excited too with his little brother, because his little brother fights at 45 and he's like 6'3". So it's like yeah, he's another big motherfucker. But they're like huge, like they're like Howards, like skinny, very shredded, very wide shoulders. Like there's a specific boxer that I would always look for when I would train fighters. There's a specific build, and that's like the Howards, the Bryces, the Bobbies. Those guys, like the Go-Go's and the Jareds, those are different. Those are sluggers, you know. Like those aren't gonna be your gold medalist, world champion boxers, you know. There's a certain fucking build that makes it to the top every time. So,
well, anybody that's listening, you guys can see Bryce Henry fight. Is it Brandon Shavers? Derek Shaver? What's Shaver's name? Brandon Shavers?
I think it was Brandon Shavers. Yeah,
he's fighting Brandon Shavers on that New Orleans card. We can't wait for that. Can we run through your stable real quick and just ask for an update on each guy real quick?
Yes.
Howard Davis posted that he signed a contract today. We're gonna guess that he can't say his opponent right now because that's usually how it works. But when will we
fighting? I don't really know the guy's name, but I can tell you we're fighting, and he's a debuter in bare knuckle, but he's a veteran MMA dude. He has like 5 or 6 MMA fights or something like that.
All right, can you tell us when that is?
That's the Delray Beach card.
Delray Beach, nice.
Oh wow, yeah, stuff soon.
All right, are we gonna get Brian Duran back in there anytime soon?
Well, okay, so let's talk about that shit now that it's, now that everybody, I'll just put it out there. So we went to some bad labs that fucking bullshitted and photocopied our blood. Well, not just Brian. There's a list of Florida fighters that have nothing to do with Slaughterhouse or have anything to do with us in general. It's just a slew of fighters that went to this place and they all got scammed. Not just for that event. When the commission started doing an investigation, they found that it's been going on for some time with a variety of different fighters that we have no association with, but a lot in Florida. So it's something that's going on. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, them, being cheap and like trying to save money, they went the cheap route and went to this bullshit lab shit with all the other guys that didn't want to pay for their own insurance, because what I found very offensive to me personally, Brian and them are upset because people talking shit about them, about steroids and all that retarded shit, which we all know blood tests in combat sports don't do steroid tests. So that shit right there is just dumb.
Yeah,
very dumb.
But
and not to mention extremely expensive too to be testing for a whole bunch of shit for all those people on like a regional card. What kind of money are you gonna spend on that on those tests?
I'm glad. I'm kind of glad we brought this up because I want to touch on this really for real. So, people said like, oh, all the Slaughterhouse guys, all this bullshit, right? It was 2 Slaughterhouse guys, and if you look at that bout sheet, Joshua Alvarez didn't have bad blood. He passed. He did everything. Joshua Alvarez is fucking Fames.
Right.
No one knows that's his real fucking name, but that's his real fucking name.
Yep.
So he's a Slaughterhouse guy. He didn't fucking fail. There's a variety of them on there that didn't fail that went to their primary doctors and they went that route. The ones who didn't have health insurance went to the bullshit guy. And to be honest with you, Brian had already gone to that multiple times. So we had already fought with that blood work. So we didn't know, we weren't any wiser that it was not a good place or a bad place because we already had fought with that shit.
Right.
So like we didn't fucking know. We just went the same route. And there's no education by the commission. There's no education by your local fucking officials. They don't tell you shit. You literally Google shit and hope that the people that are guiding you are just guiding you in the right way. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of it. Like, I don't do blood work. I'm not a fucking doctor. I have nothing to do with any of that shit. So when people threw my name and my brand, like, oh, they're fucking cheaters, like, I didn't see, Jared there. There's fucking Go-Go. There's fucking Howard. The list goes on of fighters that I have that didn't get caught up in that shit. But if people knew the details of it, that it's not just this event, it was multiple events, multiple shit going on, that it's just something that was going on. And 2 of my guys that were on that card that needed their blood updated got fucking caught up in the cheap doctor bullshit that everybody down here in Miami was getting caught up in.
Now, for Brian and who was the other fighter?
Rambo.
Rambo. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. That was Rambo, right? Did you?
And mind you, you guys got to understand, Rambo is 22-1 amateur boxer in Florida, national champion, state champion. He knows the rules. Like, he's not a fucking cheater. So it was just this is where they got set, and this is where they were told to go, and that's just what happened. They got fucking scammed.
So does this affect their standing records right now? Like, Brian is 3-0, and you said that he can use the lab in the past. Does this eliminate those fights?
No, let's keep it real. What's that blood work really mean? Let's keep it real. Blood work, they don't do blood work a week before a show. That shit's good in some states for a fucking year.
Right.
Really?
So that shit means nothing. It's a technicality that they do just for their own fucking, safety of insurance or whatever bullshit reason there is. But for you to tell me that it's safe and, we're doing it for the safety of the fighter, that's bullshit. Because if that was the case, everybody should have blood work done the week before the fight.
Yeah, every
because
month.
You could get your blood work done in 2 days. It comes right back.
It's sort of like taking the COVID test. Now, I don't want to get too political because COVID's gotten political over this. But, people used to go take a COVID test, and then they're like, hey, I got my fucking results. It's 2 days later. They're like,
Right.
I don't got COVID. I'm like, dude, you could have got it fucking 5 minutes later. That shit it's null and void. Who gives a shit?
Right. And for people to think that, like, my fighters or anybody that would cheat for fucking $100 blood exam, $80 blood exam is retarded. You know what I mean? Like,
and like Mike had said earlier, if it was for like a local promotion,
right?
It wasn't for like a fucking pay-per-view somewhere. It wasn't for a big event. It was for a local boxing promotion.
And look, and technically, if you really break it down, like, the event never happened. The commission canceled the event because of the bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So no one really did anything wrong. Like, no one got past doing anything wrong with anything. And there was one fighter there, I forget his name, I think his name was Summers or something like that, who was fighting Brian. He had to get a medical clearance from New York for a fucking head cut or some shit. So the guy goes to the doctor to get a medical clearance, right? To do that, but then has bad blood work. Like, what sense does that make?
Yeah, it doesn't make
sense. So there's a shitload of fuckery that people don't know that were behind the fact. The reality of it was I was funding the show because I wanted to get my fighters and kids in Florida that are coming up opportunities to fight bare knuckle, because not everybody's going to get on BKFC. Not everybody's going to get to fight. Not everybody's going to get on the big show. You know what I mean? And if Dave was giving me an opportunity to use some of his guys to build this brand, There Will Be Blood, and do all this shit, that's why I went that route. And I ended up losing, and I'm going to keep it totally transparent. I lost 9,000 and change in this whole little fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? So for anybody to be like, oh, he's fuck, why the fuck would I sabotage my own shit? How stupid do you people sound?
Right.
Like, that's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't go. Right. That's why I didn't go online. I didn't take chew anybody's head off, because honestly, what they're doing is just the defamation of character. Because 1, I'm not the promoter. 2, I'm not the fucking fighter. 3, I'm not a doctor. And to put my name and to do all the shit people were doing is literally defamation of character. Like, I lost well, not personally, but fighters lost sponsors because of comments. You know what I mean? So now you're taking
state of the world right now, man.
So now you're taking money out of kids' pockets. Someone has to pay for that. When everybody's name is cleared and all this shit goes away, someone has to pay for the slandering of people's names, the talking about people. Someone has to pay for that, because you can't expect me to lose money and fuck up my shit and think I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with losing $9,000 and people blasting me online like I'm a cheater. Like, that shit's retarded.
Yeah,
that shit
be, very aggravating.
That shit came out on a day that we had a show, and like I kind of went to bat for you guys, because we know you guys and we know that this had to be some sort of fucking dumb bullshit, and we absolutely didn't know anything about it, right?
Nothing.
So us being fucking smart people up here in fucking New England, wicked smart people, I kind of did a little PSA for you guys that night, and I just said, hey, you guys don't fucking know anything that's going on, so why don't you please shut your fucking mouths before the let the process play out, and why don't you fucking learn the real facts before you start making opinions, you know?
And the funny shit is when people like say, oh, they're indefinitely suspended. Everybody gets indefinitely suspended after a cut, after an injury. There's a million reasons. Indefinite doesn't mean forever. It just means till further notice.
Right.
Yeah. I got indefinitely suspended for throwing a stink bomb in my history class after homeroom, and they said that I was through chemical warfare in the school. I swear to God, they were like, "Oh my God, people could be allergic. You almost killed them. You're suspended indefinitely." And I was like 7th grade. I was like, "Indefinitely? What the fuck does that mean?" I was suspended for 10 days, but they let me back into school.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, Brian. Honestly, I feel bad. Worst for Brian. Rambo, whatever. But Brian really took it to heart, like how people went at him and shit like that, because he's really doing this for the best of his family and doing the right thing. So he just came up on the shit side of the stick. But for people to attack people that like are doing the same shit that they're doing, like, yo, he's fighter like you. He's in the ring like you, and you don't even have your own people's back. Like a lot of people showed their true colors to us, like in our faces. They're like, "Oh, bro, picture, bro, you're the best." Blah 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 blah. And as soon as something bad happens, they jump ship and start talking shit, and you see their true colors. And things happen for a reason, because God and the galaxy will always show you people's true colors before you level up, so you don't bring them to the next level with you. So that's really all it was. Because the one weekend I lost $9,000 and my show was fucked up and everybody was talking shit. The following weekend, I'm in South Carolina with Gogo winning fucking #1 contender, and now I'm on my way to Knuckle Mania with Jared to upset the fucking world and knock the shit out of Dobson.
Dude, it's okay. So you've done a podcast before in your lifetime, because you just transitioned right into the next thing we got.
I remember I worked in radio in Miami for like most of my youth.
I know that was perfect for you, because my follow up to that, like, I hope that all that shit with the blood work and all that stuff gets cleared up, and I hope Brian and Rambo get their names cleared and they get back to fighting soon. Thank you for like explaining that to anybody that wanted to hear it, because we all needed to hear that. You got Jared Grant next week, Knuckle Mania 3, fighting John Dotson. You got to admit, Dotson is the biggest name he's stepped in there with, and Dotson is a extremely fast, powerful little guy that packs a ton of fucking power in his hands. How are you feeling with Jared going into this? Do you see him making quick work of John, or do you see him
this is the best type of fight to have as a fighter. The best type of fight, because we're supposed to lose. We're supposed to lose. There's no question about that. Like, the world looking at this fight that doesn't know Bare Knuckle, doesn't know Jared, doesn't know that we're supposed to fucking lose. No question about it. So, like I told Jared, you have nothing to lose. The world thinks this guy's going to smoke you anyways. So go out there and surprise the world. And, if you knock this fucking guy out or you beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds, you'll wake up the next day a superstar. And if not, you were supposed to lose. Dude, whatever.
You just hit the nail right on the head. He goes out there and he dominates John Dotson. You are no longer a regular on the Mike and Mish show. You're getting called by like the Ariel Hwanis of the world that want to talk to this young bare knuckle fighter that just smoked.
Who the fuck is this kid with 6 professional fights that just put John Dotson to sleep?
Right. You're gonna be talking to the Luke Thomases and the schmoes of the world and stuff like that, which me and Mike want to get there one day, but
we're gonna be.
We are. We're on our way. You know that. But that you're right. He's gonna be getting hit by all the like worldwide media people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, and the one thing too that's a great advantage for our camp is that John Dotson has so many television fights, that he's been on TV fighting so many times. Yeah. There's so much to watch. There's so much to pick. Right. Yeah. And like one thing that I could definitely, I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm a student of the game. And ever since I was a kid, I was addicted to combat sports. So I could sit there and literally watch a fight 7,000 times just to watch one round over and over and over and over and over, just to see every movement. So I've already picked up on a lot of things Dobson does wrong. I already know his bad habits that he can't break because it's been a lifetime of doing that shit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that, like, if you go back and you go watch the Jimmy Rivera fight, right? When Jimmy Rivera fought him, Jimmy Rivera, I know from when he fought Howard, he's not a great boxer. Like, I know that. Like, that to me was already proven when he fought Howard. So when I see Jimmy Rivera outboxing you every fucking round of that fight and piecing you up, that tells me a lot about that was when you were at your best, and you're getting pieced up by a guy who's not a great boxer just because he was cutting off the ring, just because he was putting you in comfortable situations. So I'm curious to see, you know, and Jared is a big 125er. He was a small 35er, but he's a big 125er. So if he thinks he's going to muscle Jared around, if he thinks he's going to do that, I mean, I hope he does. The only advantage he has on us is that altitude. So that's about it.
Yeah,
and I'm fully aware of that.
It's so crazy that this fight is on this card with this card is absolutely insane. Insane. I
honestly think Dawson's overlooking Jared, because that whole like comment of saying, oh, you know, I'm trying to get another 40-second knockout, I'm out of here in one round and this and that. Like, if you look at Jared's body of work with only 6 professional fights, and you're talking about you're going to get him out of there in one round, nobody's got Jared out of there in one round. So for you to be that confident that, oh, you know, even Reggie, who no doubt beat the shit out of Jared for 5 rounds that day, but Jared was there for 5 fucking rounds taking a beating. He didn't fall. He didn't fold. He just, so Jared's like, you know, my boxing son. I don't see John Dodson making him quit. So he's going to be in the fight.
I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see you guys down there next week. They're going to do the open workouts on Wednesday at Jackson Wink, and we'll be there doing. I think me and Mike are going to try to go do a live thing from the open workouts on Wednesday. So, and from what I don't know if you know, I mean, I'm sure you know this, right? Like from what we were told, I believe the top 4 fights, all those fighters should be at the open workout. So that would include the main event and the co-main, and then Dodson and Grant and Hardy and Watson. So,
well, this is news to me. You don't tell me anything about that. So
everybody's learning.
Usually we'll get like a little agenda of what you're supposed to do. And
the agenda, it came out. Yeah. I think it came out.
See, I don't look at it until I'm on the plane and I got nothing to do. So I'm like, let's see who I'm supposed to call when I get off this plane, and then I go from there all weekend. You know,
calling G. No, I don't know. It's probably G.
Somebody.
Nah, man, it's good to have you on and hear about these things. And before we let you go, you got anybody on that New Orleans card? We talked about Howard being on the Delray Beach card. We talked about Jared being on Knuckle Mania.
I got Bryce on the New Orleans card.
Oh, Bryce. We talked about Bryce.
We have Drew Anglecore.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I believe one other guy. I'm just not sure which one. But we have a lot. We signed a lot of new fighters. Like, I know we got
Lecraze.
I think so. Yeah, I think we got Zach Kalmas fighting soon. A lot of guys that we're working with that we're going to start getting in the mix more often, more fight, more involved. You know.
Wait. Zach Kalmas is with you?
Yeah, Slaughterhouse and Guerrilla War Management. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I think I did see that Kalmas was, because he was wearing all the guerrilla warfare gear last week. He was taking pictures and all that. Right. Yeah.
So what we need to do is I need to create like a poster, like a death row poster. I keep telling Shane we need to create a death row poster with like everybody's face on it, so everybody like, damn, how deep do they really roll? Yeah. So it's deeper. Like there's a lot of them. Bro, for sure.
And
definitely do that for sure. Yeah, it'll clear everything up for everybody. Everybody will see everyone and they'll know. Boom. Okay. Because I did forget about a couple of the fighters like Angel Core. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. I still lined him up with Goat. So
yeah, like even the guy that I'm bringing in, the MMA guy that's fighting Howard, he's signed to us too. You know, like I think he's gonna be like, you know how I do it. Like I put Vinny Torino against Kerry Cuff. Who was it? I fought my own guys against each other, you know? So I'll fight my own guys against each other. So this MMA guy's tough, and I feel he's going to give Howard a good fight. So I think it was, a good matchup, and he has a lot of experience. So I figured it'd be a fair matchup for both of them. And
Do you guys have Kerry Caprio?
Yeah.
Is he going to be fighting sometime soon?
He's doing a boxing match. So I think after his boxing match, he's going to get back in the mix. It's just hard because he's a 125er. Like, he's a real little guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So until like they built that division, he wasn't doing anything. So he started focusing on boxing and doing other things.
No, he was impressive in his first fight. And how about Jomi? Is Jomi got something lined up?
Jomi I was trying to get him on the Del Rey card, but it just didn't work out. And I mean, Jomi's always, available to send to Russia or to like any of those crazy shit. Jomi's just one of those guys that will do all that nuts shit. So
would Jomi be like how heavy does he walk around like in his day-to-day life? Is he about a 200-pounder?
Yeah, like 205, 197.
I was gonna say like that. Idris Wasi was supposed to fight Quentin Henry. He was supposed to fight Quentin Henry in New Orleans, right?
Yep.
And Quentin Henry pulled out with a torn plantar fascia. So Idris Wasi was online saying that like he was heartbroken. He lost his opponent. He doesn't have an opponent for New Orleans. He had all these tickets sold, and his family was coming to see him fight and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I think I might have even messaged you, Ryan. I was like, you don't have a 205er to go in there and fight this kid, Idris Wasi. I figured you probably had someone.
What's that guy's record?
I think he's
1-1.
1-1
for BK.
Yeah, he knocked somebody out. He knocked somebody out in Orlando the first time they were at the Carib.
Yep.
And then he took the fight against Steve Townsell on like 5 days' notice and went to fucking war with Steve Townsell and ended up getting finished in like the 3rd or 4th round. It was a fucking great fight between those two.
If I was like, this is like obviously off the top of my head, but if I was to put any of my guys into a 205 fight, I would say Jeremy Smith.
That's who I was thinking the whole time, but
Jomi would be a small 205er. Jeremy Smith is a solid 205er.
Well, there's still time. The New Orleans. You just
listen. Jeremy Smith is the most game fighter.
That's what I'm saying.
He gives no shits. He don't care about winning and losing. He just goes out there and gives it a valiant effort every fucking time. So he doesn't care. Like, he gives no shits. Like, that's what I love about Jeremy. He's my age, and I'm so impressed with him because I wish I would have that type of dedication to fight, because I feel like I could probably beat some of these dudes' asses myself. But I just don't have that discipline at my age with my lifestyle and my kids, and to be like to actually go in there, and Jeremy does at our age, and I'm just like at awe with this.
Yeah,
shit
he's
he
a
does.
beast for sure. He's a pit bull.
He runs a business. He runs a business. He's from South fucking Africa. Came to America by himself. He's a real dude, bro. And then on top of that, the dedication it takes at his age, at 38, to really be in this shit and winning and being like successful against young dudes. Like, I tip my hat off to him every time. I'm like, bro, you're a fucking animal.
Well, time to hit up Nate and say, hey, this kid Idris Wasi got an opponent or what? Because Pitbull's ready.
Trust me, bro. I'll be on that. I'm in the AM for sure. I'll be like, hey, I heard someone fell out.
Nice.
Fill me in.
Hell yeah.
It's a pleasure to help. You know what I mean?
Yes, always.
We're always here to help.
I'm always down. And the one thing about I like a lot of my fighters is they don't give me no bullshit. Like, my core guys, like Howard, fucking always takes a tough fight. Jared will take any fight. That's what I like about my camp. Like, they know go Brian, whatever I throw at them, they just take. So nice. It's good. It's good to move like that with fighters.
I got one more for you. The Virginia card. Britain is Britain headlining that thing? Does she have an opponent? What's up?
I don't know. Like, she lives in Virginia, so like I guess they haven't talked to her, or they haven't talked to me about anything either. So like, I don't really know. So we haven't spoke about training or anything like that. So okay. I don't know what the plans are
about that. It's like they announced the Virginia card. Reggie told us he's headlining it. Britain told me she's headlining it. Who the hell's headlining it? Who's on that card? They don't have anything.
There's only one person that knows that, and it's the magical wizard named Nate Shook.
Yeah.
So like, for all those that think this guy or that guy can make moves, it's only one guy. It's the magical wizard of Nate Shook. That's it.
Well, you know what we're gonna have to do in Albuquerque is we're just gonna scope out the elevators, right? And as soon as we see Nate, Nate, can you hold the door quick? And we'll run in, and then we'll just stop the
Listen,
elevator.
you guys,
Be a little
Yep.
emergency.
nah, you guys have been to enough shows to know how that shit works in behind the scenes.
Yep.
You can't talk to Nate.
Nope.
Feldman Jr. is not talking to you. Like, there's a bunch of certain dudes that are just gonna walk right by you
Yeah.
and not say shit. Like, you got a better chance of having a 20-minute conversation with Dave Feldman Sr. than you do with like
Oh, for
Junior
sure.
and Nate or any of those guys.
You want to know what's funny? We actually made an attempt to do a post-event interview with Junior.
Yeah, we want.
We always do. We always do one with
will.
Senior. We always do one with Senior, but he was there with his wife that night, and he bounced as soon as the event was over. But Dave Jr. was there, and we're like, why don't we fucking see if he'll do one?
Yeah.
And he did not want to.
Yeah. Well, and you want to know what? In his defense, though, and you know, Ryan, that guy, people don't give him credit. And I see every now and then there'll be like a Dave Jr. hate or two because I think they're just jealous as fuck for sure.
Facts.
But he works his fucking ass off at those things.
He does.
He has his hand in every single pot. If people watching, they don't know. He is like
he's moving the strings.
He's the main gear in that.
Yeah, he's moving the strings for 100%. They don't get that.
Might not know that he is the main fucking guy.
Yeah,
like he
absolutely
does everything.
Listen,
I watch what he does.
I stopped taking it personal when he didn't respond to my text about certain shit. I was like, oh fuck it, he's just too busy. I'm not even taking it personal because that's the thing that people don't get. Like those dudes, like Nate. Like, just imagine that shit. Some promoters have difficulties matching up one show. You see him on Facebook all the time, like, looking for this guy, looking for that guy. Yeah. That's one fucking show. This guy's matching up over 50 shows in a year.
Yeah.
And you can't fail. That's some real pressure.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like, my show failed. I lost $9,000. Fuck it. We keep it moving. This shit fails. Someone might die out here, you know what I mean? Someone might lose. That's how serious this shit is.
Might die.
Yeah, that's how serious this shit is.
Yeah. No, he's busy. He had a whole handful full of. So the show's still going on. They're still talking because afterwards, you get the commentators talking. They're fucking going over some shit. He's got a whole handful of fucking envelopes. He's looking for people. I was like, "Oh, Dave, you want to fucking do a thing?" He's like, "Oh, I can't, buddy. I can't." And I was like, "Yep, he can't." I just walked right away. As soon as he said, "See you later."
Yeah, there's no point. There's certain, and there's some of the photographer video guys that are super cool, like Evan and all those guys. Like, no one sees the shit they do, bro. Like, that shit's crazy to do that all in a weekend and then pick up like a circus and then do it all over again somewhere else.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking nuts.
The number of people in their crew you would think should be like 3 times as many people.
Facts.
It's insane how small that group is.
Yes,
and they're putting on these gigantic promotion, like these big productions, high level, super fucking well put together productions that you would think that they have this massive staff. They do not. It's like,
but you got to remember those dudes that are in there, like the Tom Sconzas of the world. A lot of people might not know who that is, but he's one of the medical directors for BKFC. Like, that dude is like an icon in combat sports. Yep. So to have that dude on your team, that's like having 10 employees because that's 30 years of knowledge right there.
Right.
Dr. Muzi.
Yep.
Bro, like, I've dealt with a bunch of doctors in corners. That guy's the coolest fucking doctor I've ever dealt with.
And he's dedicated because I see him. I will see. So at the last event, you see him. You saw him. He was down at the table with, I think, who is his wife, right? And then Kevin Smith and then someone else. And they're just talking about medical stuff and trying to make this.
No, and he's down there. No, you know what he's doing? That's not what he's doing. Because I've sat there to wonder why. I'm like, why the fuck? He sits there after the show for like 3 hours. Because he gives all the fighters a talk after the shit.
After the show. I'll talk before the show.
He's like, I'm at the hotel for 3 up at night. If you guys need me after the fight, he'll literally go to your room and take care of you. Like, that's a real doctor. Where other places, the doctor goes home and it's like, show's over, I'm out of here. Yep. This dude like really cares about the fighters. And it's like Dave Jr., man, the production that they put on, that's not their first day. Like, they've had to fall 100 times to get to that level. So
yeah,
I always take my hat off to them, man, to like be able to put a show on like that. It's crazy.
You know, you brought up Sconzo. That's a guy that I would like to have come on the show because You ever sit down and have a 45-minute conversation with Tom Sconzo? That dude has lived a great, like, super interesting life. Like, he was like very good friends with like Malcolm X's daughter, and like trained in Harlem with Ron Von Cleef, and like he's done like all this crazy shit. And and he was like, I think he was a Marine back in the day, and like me and him sat there, we went out to sushi, and he talked about all kinds. He's like a 2-time martial arts Hall of Famer and 2 different things, and he's like one of the top guys in the ISKA, and he's this and that. And I'm like, Jesus, this dude is like one of the most interesting people I've ever met.
Right, he's one of the most interesting people, one of the most declarated people, and he's down to earth. That he'll go eat sushi with you and just be cool. That's what I like about this, because I've been to like the top ranked shows. I've been to PBC. I've been to all those bullshit shows. And when you go to those shows, like literally no one talks to you. No one gives a shit. You're in and out the door. You're a product. You're a number. No one cares. Like, this is a real network, like a family. And like, that's what's really cool about BKFC to me. It's like the camaraderie. I don't know how to say the word, camaraderie, whatever.
Camaraderie,
yeah, like that they bring, and the shit that they do with the fighters and how everybody vibes. Like, that to me is super cool. Yep. And every once in a while, you get a bad fucking apple that kills the vibe for everybody. But what can you do?
Yeah, they kill the vibe, then you kill them, and the vibe gets better again.
Yeah, bro. You got. They're like, I know you guys gotta go because it's late as fuck. But I got one thing to say before I leave.
Go ahead.
Fuck Planet Hank. That will be all.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
All right, fuck that redheaded bitch ass motherfucker. I'm not a fighter. I'm nobody. I'm a regular ass dude. So all that slick shit he says, I'll go to this little stupid ass comedy shows they have and punch him dead in his goddamn mouth. So he needs to stop with his little bullshit. I know you guys aren't gonna post this. You probably should edit it out before you put it on the BKFC app. But fuck that little fucking redheaded fuck.
All righty.
Yeah, all right. Ryan Perez, we will see you next week when we get down there. Me and Mike will be there on Wednesday.
We will be there.
I don't know when you get to Albuquerque, but
Wednesday. I'll be out there Wednesday too. I already dropped Jared out there in Albuquerque, so that way he gets used to the altitude. So
all right,
trying to cut the advantages of Dotson down. They just think we're dumb though, so we'll see.
Getting acclimated. That's what you got to do. Ryan, thanks for coming on. Thanks for dropping all kinds of knowledge on us tonight.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Talk to you later, bro.
All right. Later.
Wow.
Hey, that was awesome. That was great.
That was fantastic, man.
Take that, Diego.
Yeah. Wow. That was very cool. And you know what? Ryan popping on here, that was solid, because we needed to talk about that blood test stuff that needed to be talked about. He was very wide open with it, like he always is.
Yeah.
And he previewed a lot of upcoming things that he's got going on. So, and maybe he calls up Nate tomorrow and Jeremy Smith has himself a fight.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be so cool, dude.
Come on now.
Yeah, we're always just poking our noses in things around
here to help. If we can help, we would love to see it.
Yeah, man.
Idris Wasi is a good dude, and we talked to him before, and he wants to fight, and it would help him. So when his families get the tickets, that would really suck.
He was
that
would
be great.
What I liked about, like, we interviewed him after he lost to Steve Townsend.
Yeah,
and he had he was almost like choked up that we even wanted to talk to him.
I know. That's what kind of made me like drawn to him. You know?
Yeah, I was like, man, this kid's a good kid. He just really wants to do well, and it broke his heart that he went out there and lost. And we're like, bro, you took the fight on like 5 days notice, 4 days notice,
and you put on a great fight, and almost won.
Yeah, and you almost won. You went to war with a dude named fucking Tomahawk that is a goddamn massive warrior. Yeah, he's a fucking 225-pound warrior, and you went to war with him, and it's nothing to hang your head about. It was fucking great, and you should be proud of yourself. You know what I mean? You came here, you showed up, you got a paycheck, and you earned the respect of the bosses, and they're gonna keep bringing you back as long as you fucking perform the way you did tonight. And he was very cool with us. So I was a little heartbroken for him when he lost his opponent, and he posted that thing the other day. He was
but you want to know what he says? Lost the fight, whatever, it sucks. This is not word for word, people, but then he says, my family already has tickets, but it's okay, things will work out. Like that, like his last sentence was like, but it's okay, things will work out. Like this dude's crushed, and then he's like, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, Everything happens for a reason, Mike, right? Hey, shout out to Mike the Marine Richmond for coming on and delivering like he always does on this show. I cannot wait for that event. Him and Lorenzo did their part with us on our show last night and tonight. To sell it even more, because I'm even more hyped for it now than I was before. The rest of the card's incredible. There will not be any shows for Mike and myself next week. No Mike and Mish show next week on our regular time, but pay attention to our channel and pay attention to our YouTube and stuff, because we are going to plan on going live from the open workouts on Wednesday from Jackson Wink. We're planning on broadcasting live from the weigh-ins on Thursday and getting interviews done on Thursday like we always do.
Thursday, and then, we want to do something Thursday, maybe morning.
Oh, yeah. We might be doing an actual Mike and Mish show, an episode, like a full episode like we do right now. But it might be a little different. We're going to try to go live Thursday morning from the Fighter Hotel. And we're going to set up down there. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to try to set up some way where we have a table with some cameras and stuff. And we're going to, welcome anybody that wants to sit in on the show and talk with us, but also have call-in guests like we do on this show.
So it'll be a little extravaganza.
Yeah, we're going to try to get as many of the New Orleans fighters that from that card on that show Thursday morning, whoever can make it.
Because we don't have time, because that friggin' card is one week after that. And by the time we get home, those fighters are already going to be going to New Orleans, and they're going to be doing their weigh-ins. And we don't have time to get those people on the show. So we're going to try to hit those people off on Thursday and give them their time, their space. And then they can chit chat with some of the fighters that are going to be fighting at Knuckle Mania. And maybe we get some good chemistry going between some fighters from different cards, and they can talk about Knuckle Mania and they can talk about New Orleans. So it'll be cool.
So here's our timeline for all the Mike and missionaries. Yeah, you hear what I just said there. All the Mike and missionaries out there. Next week, look for us Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Albuquerque time. Us going live from the open workouts around that time. Pay attention for that one. Look for us going live Thursday morning. Not sure the time yet there. And then live again from the weigh-ins Thursday night. And then we're going to do our thing at the event on Friday. So
it'll be somewhat different. We have a little bit of it. So we have some new equipment that we're testing out this week. So it should all go as planned, and it should be really freaking cool.
Yeah. We're going to try not to suck. Right, Mike?
Yep. Hey, listen, fuck it. Let's do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
That's what we do.
Said, thank you, Mike Richmond, for coming on. Thank you for Roberto Armas for coming on. And thank you for Ryan Perez coming on here. And you guys delivered a great show tonight. And it was fly by the seat of our pants type shit. We'll catch up with Diego Sanchez next week. I know we will. We're going to run into him and we'll do a live interview with him. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. Keep sticking with us. We'll keep getting better. And we'll see you next week at Knuckle Mania 3. Mike?
Peace.
Peace.